Welcome to this week's edition of Mainly Motorsports, and if I look tired, dreary, weary, or whatever the words are we want to use, it's because I just got back from the big weekend event that they crammed into one day up at Speedway 95, and obviously the weather played havoc with a lot of racing this past weekend, but hats off to Dell, Kim, Chuck, the whole staff at Speedway 95 as they did what they had to do to get the racing in on Sunday, finish the year out, not have to bring people back in a couple weeks, and obviously made for a very, very, very long day on Sunday for everybody involved. But you know, it went off without a hitch. Some races took a little longer than others, just like any normal Saturday night event anywhere in the country. But congratulations to all the winners, and saw some great racing, some great finishes in a couple of them. The Ikey Dorr race, which paid big money, big money for the street stocks, came down to 3-lap shootout and side-by-side racing. You know, nobody giving an inch, but nobody going over that inch either. And really a great job by all. And once they settled down in that race, they really put on a great show. All those guys at the street stock level. So congratulations to all the top runners. And you know, we saw some, like I said, saw some great racing up there. And the weather finally cooperated on Sunday, but we got a lot of highlights during this week's show. But a couple other things that we want to show, and it took place back in the spring at the Maine Vintage Race Car Association's annual Hall of Fame banquet. A couple of inductees, and one of them just finished got to be his 45th, close to 50th year in motorsports behind the wheel, and that's Mike Rowe. And the other one is Bruce Elder. And Bruce Elder, when we talk about people that have got in the sport, made a name for themselves in the sport, but then don't get out of the sport, but stay involved, and that's Bruce Elder. From winning a track championship over at Beech Ridge in the C class and being a first-class competitor through his whole entire racing career, then leaving the seat for the broadcast booth and synonymous with, you know, announcing at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway, and did a couple of stints on the Pro All-Star Series. You still hear him once in a while. And then obviously heavily involved with the Maine Vintage Race Car Association as vice president and kind of the right-hand man for Bob Morris over the years. And Bruce finally was, this past year, or this year, inducted into the Hall of Fame, and very, very deserving honor for Bruce. And, you know, this was back in the spring, but we hadn't had a chance to show his induction speech. So once we take a break and then we come back, we're going to hear what Bruce Elder had to say back in April as he accepted his nomination and induction into the Maine Vintage Race Car Association Maine Motorsports Hall of Fame. So we'll take a break and we'll be right back and hear from Bruce Elder.
Don't let the other guys rough you up. Shop online at otmotorsales.com.
Clark's Eastside Scrap and Westside Scrap, two of the region's most efficient scrap yards. Both locations have the latest and greatest equipment, along with large capacity scales that are constantly calibrated to ensure honest weights. Car crushing, roll-off containers, scrap metal. Clark's Eastside Scrap in Chelsea and Clark's Westside Scrap in Farmingdale. Don't fix it, scrap it.
Mainly Motorsports TV, brought to you by
Moody's Collision Centers, now with 7 convenient locations: Gorham, Scarborough, Biddeford, Portland, Sanford, Lewiston, and now South Portland. Visit us at moodyscollision.com.
Southern Maine Motors, out to be Maine's #1 Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealership, Route 1 Saco.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and congratulations to all the inductees. I'm always inspired and humbled by the accomplishments of the inductees. It's tough to compress amazing lives into a few notes to share with you. Tonight, I'm blessed to introduce 2 of them Bruce Elder, and a bit later, Bob Tibbetts. I got to see both of them race, and they gave me a lifetime of memories. First up is Bruce. As the vintage movement grew, the Maine Vintage Race Car Club was started, and Bruce was at the first meeting. He's been vice president for many years, often stepping up to handle tasks and manage efforts. Andy Cusack, a pioneer in his own right, formed a committee to launch this Hall of Fame, and Bruce has worked diligently on its behalf to ensure that those who built the sport are recognized. He's devoted about acknowledging the sport's older members while they are still alive, and has often argued against his own recognition, opting to recognize another he felt more deserving than him. He's honored to have done introductions at the New England Racing Hall of Fame for drivers like Homer Drew, Ralph Cusack, and most recently Stan Meserve. 15 years ago, we brought number 9 to an autograph night at Beach Ridge. Waiting to go out, someone approached us in the dim light. "You got it done, I love it," he said. "Thank you for doing it, and thank you for what you did for C-Class. You don't know what it means," said Art Jones. To know Bruce is to know of his reverence for the 60s and 70s at Beach Ridge, especially C-Class. Bruce is the 4th driver in a strong group of racers to be inducted. Names, memories, and a great era are what the number 9 brings out, Bruce likes to say. And it reminds us of the hard racing in a great class bonded by ferocious competition and friendship. Bruce Elder's efforts to enhance or give back to the sport in some way spans decades, folks. Bruce Elder's many years of effort have been recognized by Beach Ridge with the Lifetime Achievement Award, the Wins Memorial Blazer, and he's a member of the Beach Ridge Speedway Hall of Fame. Bruce recalls the first Hall of Fame 11 years ago. He's very grateful to each one of you here tonight for your support of racing history. Ladies and gentlemen, may I ask you to show your support for his efforts. Please welcome the driver of the number 9, Mr. Bruce Elder.
Wow. Thank you. This is certainly a great honor, and I'm humbled by it. I first have to give the good Lord thanks for the many blessings in my life, and there certainly have been many. Foremost among those blessings are my family and valued friends. Many of those special people are here tonight, and I'm so appreciative. Before I go any further, I've got to thank Steve Pellerin. I think most of you who've been around racing for a number of years know the kind of effort he has put in. The model building, the restoration of now a fleet of cars, of which I'm proud to say my old 57 Chevy was the first one. And he's just done so much. And I just want him to know how much he is appreciated. And I have many to thank for their support and encouragement, which has allowed me to be involved in this great sport in one capacity or another for over 50 years. Now, I know that's hard to believe as young as I am. It's getting harder and harder to use that line. You were kind. There were not many, laughs, but that's okay. Well, as Steve mentioned, it all started back in 1960, my sophomore year in high school, when Bob and Larry Tangway invited me to go to Beach Ridge with them on one Sunday afternoon. And that's all it took, one time, and I was hooked. And I know many of you can relate to that. It's an addictive sport, and I guess I'm still addicted. Well, this happened at about the same time that Bob Bushley Sr. started working on some of my father's construction equipment, and my brother and I struck up a friendship with Bob and ended up on his crew, which led to a close friendship with Homer Drew, because we were there when Homer Drew came on board to drive the P38. And a lasting friendship, of course, has continued with the Drew family. Then in the fall of 1962, I started college at what is now USM, and who was on the maintenance staff but Phil Libby. Well, we developed a great friendship which lasted throughout Phil's life, and in fact, he was my mentor when I followed him as president of the Maine State Stock Car Racing Association. Well, I think we all know that racing certainly has its ups and downs, and I think the old wide world of sports adage, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, is so appropriate. And all the racers can relate to that. And I think there are times when we're dealing with discouragement and even thoughts of giving up. I think of the people who helped me through those down times, and I think of them as encouragers. And I've tried to be an encourager, because I think that's so important. I've had many in my life. During the early years, it was certainly my brother Warren and my sister Ann, who were always there, and I think at times believed more in me than I did in myself. Then, as Steve mentioned, there was Stan Cody, who just after 1 year of competition came up to me and said, "I'd like to build a car for you." And I was no great shakes at that time, so it just bowled me over, but what a vote of confidence. Then my crew during those C-Class and late model years. Bob Polaris, who was my right-hand man through it all. Frank Lamb, who built great engines. Robert Batchelor, who practically lived with the number 9 that High Point year. He kind of had to because it was garaged under his house. Lionel Pendexter, who probably logged the most miles to be on hand consistently to help out. Then there were car owners Steve Berry Sr. and Bob Patton, without whose efforts my driving career would have been a whole lot shorter than it was. Of course, once I got out from behind the wheel of a race car, my wife Cindy became much more enthusiastic about my involvement in racing. And in fact, while I was going over some thoughts about what I might say tonight, Cindy said, "Are you going to include some funny or unusual situations? Those are always great." And I said, "Well, that may be embarrassing." And she says, "Oh, that's okay." And I said, "Well, it's okay for you to say." She says, "Why don't you tell them about the awards banquet when you were MC?" I said, "Okay." Well, probably one of the most embarrassing was a time when I was emceeing a Beach Ridge banquet some years ago, and I was wearing one of those rented tuxedos, and being tall, of course, I got a large size, and the problem arose when I realized that the adjustable waistband would not stay tight. Of course, there was no belt or suspenders, so consequently, my pants kept wanting to slide down. And I had to keep kind of doing this, you know, and I wondered what people thought, but somehow I got through the night, and afterwards it really was funny, and no one said anything to me, so either they were being very kind, or they just didn't notice, but that was probably one of the most embarrassing, but then one of the most comical events. Another funny situation happened at a time when Beach Ridge and Oxford had a cooperative exchange program where I would go up and announce with Bob Walker, and he would come down to the ridge and work with me. At that time, Ann Turner was assisting me in the tower. Yes, that's the same Ann Turner, that's the Bobby Turner's better half. We got to a little lull in the program, and Bob Walker said something, "Well, I think it's time to get out the goodies." To that, Ann Turner blurted out, "Wait a minute, we don't do that here." Thinking that Bob was referring to drugs. To which a puzzled Bob Walker reached in his pocket and pulled out a packet of goodies headache powder. And of course, we got a great laugh at that afterwards, but it was kind of a unique situation for sure. Well, I was asked by someone to comment about the most meaningful things in my career aside from winning a championship. And I would certainly be quick to say it's been the relationships developed through the years. During those years of the Maine State Stock Car Racing Association, working with so many owners, drivers, crew members, and sponsors, and of course the track owners, particularly the Cusack family, were just memorable years where lasting friendships have developed. There were people like Bonnie and Ray Coffin. I mentioned Phil Libby, Bob Libby, Terry Wilkinson. The people who worked with me, I mentioned Ann Turner and Darlene LeClaire. just people who became very special and long-term friends. It's been especially gratifying also to be able to stay in contact with a number of my former students from my years of teaching, because many have been involved in racing, and I'm so pleased that some of them are here tonight, and that means so much. During the trackside and announcing years, dealing with so many drivers, teams, both locally and on a regional level with the PASS Tour, a highlight certainly was an opportunity to announce at Thompson with John Roberts on a night when one of our people that we're recognizing as a finalist for Driver of the Year, Cassius Clark, not only outran the tough regular PASS North Tour drivers, but also had to beat out Jimmy Spencer and Kenny Wallace, who finished second and third, just to show you how the talent is here in Maine. They don't take a second place to any part of the country. Another highlight of those years was the opportunity to interview some of the best on a national scale, including people like Ricky Craven, Jeff Gordon, and Ricky Rudd, among others. Also having the honor of inducting some of Maine's all-time greats into both the Maine and New England Auto Racing Hall of Fame, and to serve on the New England Selection Committee. And speaking of the New England, it's a pleasure to have the co-chair of the New England Hall of Fame Selection Committee, Bruce Cohen, and his wife Linda here with us tonight. Nice to have them here from Boston. Well, looking back, I'm so gratified by the number of great relationships I've had the opportunity to develop because of my involvement in racing, and most recently through the Maine Vintage Race Car Association. And by the way, as it was said earlier, if you're not yet a member, please consider joining, because we need more good people like you who love this sport. And I'm so appreciative of the great turnout tonight, as I know all the people being honored here tonight are. So thank you so much for being part of this special night.
Hi, I'm Johnny Wolf.
And I'm Dan Wolf. We've been selling and servicing vehicles on Route 25 in Gorham since 1972.
Wolf Auto Service offers state inspections, tires, brakes, and suspension.
21st Century Motors has a great selection of cars and trucks starting at $29.99.
With no mortgage and low overhead, we sell and service at guaranteed lowest prices.
We're just 6 miles west of Turnpike, exit 47 on Route 25 in Gorham. Online at 21stcenturymaine.com.
Today's vehicles are equipped with complex safety features such as anti-lock brakes, seatbelt restraints, and airbag systems. Even collision avoidance systems. Not available in all models. Hi, I'm Sean Moody from Moody's Collision Centers. We don't wish bad luck on anyone, but even with today's technology, we need to keep our eyes on the road and our hands on the wheel.
Moody's Collision Centers, now with 9 locations in Maine.
Legendary race car driver Bentley Warren is putting Arundel on the map. When Bentley's Saloon opened in 2004, it was just a little bar room on the side of the road. Today we have a giant saloon with live music, dancing, and great food and drink indoors and out. We're always looking to meet new friends and have a good old time. There's always something exciting going on at Bentley's. That's why we like to say, who has more fun than us? We do!
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your Maine returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, this is Pat Man himself, just letting you know that Pat Man's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
Coming down into turn number 4. Here they come. Inside, and outside. The battle, what's the reception? In car, Jason Taylor doing his best. Turn 4, but as they
I did not grow up in the car business. I started as a technician in a small garage, and now lucky enough to own my own dealership. I think buying a new car should be hassle-free with pricing up front. We like to negotiate with everyone the same way. Our goal is for our customers to feel good and make it easy and quick if they so desire. We pay our sales staff to help satisfy your needs, not to collect a traditional commission.
Southern Maine Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Maine's only Viper dealer, Route 1 Saco.
Award season event is going on now.
You don't have to wait until the end of camping season to get your best price. Hi, I'm Scott from Scott's Recreation. We're starting our end of season sale now. This is our biggest selection ever. Fifth wheels with savings up to $20,000. Big selection of toy haulers starting at only $19,999. 2015 Trail Runner bunkhouses with super slides and island kitchens for only $199 per month. Motorhomes, truck campers, and more. Financing available. Trades welcome.
Scott's Recreation, Turner and Manchester, Maine.
For a trusted name in residential and commercial site work in the Southern Maine area, call Peter Pettit Excavating. We can handle everything from the complete house lot to those nasty water and sewer line repairs. Septic systems are another area that we specialize in. During the snow season, Pettit Excavating has the equipment to handle any size job.
And when the race season arrives, be sure to follow the number 7 Hewitt's Family Restaurant Chevrolet on the past Super Late Model Tour.
Call 207-282-9305 to get the job done right. That's Peter Pettit Excavating.
Mainly Motorsports TV, brought to you by
Bentley Saloon, Route 1 in Arundel. Stop by and see why me and my friends say, who has more fun than us? We do.
Clark's Car Crushing, providing guaranteed honest weights with top dollar being paid.
The highlight event up at Speedway 95 this past weekend was the 4th annual Ikey Dorr Memorial race, and you heard Chuck Hall on here a couple weeks ago talking about Ikey, and I was a good friend of his and lost his life at a young age. Chuck has really stepped up and put this race on, and some serious support from Reese across America, and it was kind of like a veterans. They were doing a lot of stuff to honor the veterans up there. The drivers going through the stands, passing the helmet, collecting for the veterans. They had a donation bucket in the pits, and just 50-50 going towards the veterans, and just amazing at what they did. Like we all say, and really it is true. If it wasn't for the veterans and all they've done for all of us over the years of this great country, we wouldn't have the opportunity to be at a car race, a ball game, or whatever it is we did this past weekend. So, great job by everybody involved. But the Ikey Dorr race, what a battle it was. And, early on, just like any long distance race, some guys figure it is 100 laps, so we need to be around at lap 90 or lap 80, let's say, and, race the last 20. And some guys figure that, they want to make a name for themselves on lap 3 or 4 and be that guy that's 16th and thinks he really needs to be 15th. But you have that in any race, and so be it. And once they settle down, and some of the guys, whether mechanically dropped out of the race or wrecked out of the race, able to settle down, and I had a break at lap 50, and then the second 50 laps was, a few cautions, but nothing major, and they really settled it out on the track, and that's the way you want to see that big race. And congratulations to all the runners, everybody that competed. They had 31 cars show up, and big money, $3,000 to win in a street stock race is pretty unheard of anywhere in the country. So pretty neat to see it right up there at little old Speedway 95. So enjoy the highlights, and you hear from the top 3 at the conclusion of the event.
a quick chat here with our third place finisher and our 2014 Street Stock Champion at Speedway 95, Alex Berry. Alex, looked like you saved your best stuff for last.
Yeah, we fought the car most of the first half of the race, but it was good enough to, I think we started like 23rd or something. And
21st to start with.
21st, yeah, and I just, I was patient and kind of worked the inside, followed Jordan most of the first half, and it really tightened up on me. We made a few air pressure adjustments on the halftime break, and it went a little better, and we were just real good on short runs, and that's where we made most of our ground and got this third.
You got that little third place there on that last little 3-lap sprint.
Yeah, that's where our car was best. I thought, well, going there in the first half, it tightened up after about 2 laps, and it was real good for 2 laps or so, and then it just tightened right up, and that's what it started doing.
Thanks, Race Across America.
And I want to thank Race Across America and Chuck for putting on this awesome race. It was long and tiring, but I loved it. Can't wait to do it again sometime.
Okay, well, congratulations. Nice run from 21st all the way up to 3rd.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to thank my dad, too. He's a huge help on this car. Provides everything on that pretty much, and Mark Moore for his help. My mom, she runs around and gets stuff for it too, and everybody involved is awesome.
Okay, congratulations, Alex Berry, our 2014 Street Stock Champion here on Speedway 95. He's huffing and puffing and drinking some water to get his nourishment back. Dwayne, a heck of a nice run there for second place. You led about half of that race there in the middle section, but you had a little more than you had there in the restart.
Yeah, I think on the restarts we weren't as good as he was. On the outside I was a little better, I think, but then I had to go to the inside. But it was one heck of a race. I can't believe it. I got 150. I got a 50 more lap to go.
So, can you do it?
All I've done it before, so I think I can.
I'm sure you can. Well, congratulations. A real nice run today.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a plaque for Dwayne Seekins, second place in the 4th annual Ikey Dorr Memorial Race, and a Race Across America. Congratulations to Dwayne Seekins on that great run. Now let's talk to Kurt Ewens. Okay, Kurt, congratulations. A real nice run. You're right up front the whole way. You started in second place, the outside pole, and kind of stayed up front all the way. Watched the rear end of Dwayne Seekins' car for a while, but then on a restart lap 58, you took over the lead and went home from there.
Yeah, they asked me when we got fuel, so you got anything for him? I was like, I don't think so. But when that sun went down, I was a little loose and tightened the car up when the sun went down, and it was pretty good. I still didn't know if I was going to get him, but this is great. I got to thank Eric Brown, Matt Dufall for spotting, Red, the girlfriend.
Race Across America. Race Across America.
Race Across America. Alan Brown, my father, everybody that's helped me. My son. I can't believe this is the biggest race I ever won in my life. It's great.
Did that last restart scare you? Only 3 laps to go and Seekins right beside you?
Yeah, I was scared, but I didn't know there was only 3 to go. I thought there was more than that. He told me the white flag. I was like, oh my God, I got to dig.
And you did. Well, congratulations on winning the 4th annual Ikey Dorr Memorial Race here at Speedway 95.
Thank you.
Welcome to Mainely Motorsports.
To order copies of a show, send a check or money order for $15, shipping and handling included, to Mainely Motorsports, 326 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, Maine, 04062. And please add a description of the show.
Hi, I'm Johnny Wolf.
And I'm Dan Wolf. We've been selling and servicing vehicles on Route 25 in Gorham since 1972.
Wolf Auto Service offers state inspections, tires, brakes, and suspension.
21st Century Motors has a great selection of cars and trucks starting at $29.99.
With no mortgage and low overhead, we sell and service at guaranteed lowest prices.
We're just 6 miles west of Turnpike, exit 47 on Route 25 in Gorham. Online at 21stcenturymaine.com.
We've got the car you've been looking for at OT Motor Sales. Shop online at otmotorsales.com.
Not sure what brand tire to buy? Town Fair Tire has them all. Michelin, Goodyear, Firestone, Bridgestone, Pirelli, Toyo, Yokohama, Hankook, and more. No matter what size or brand, Town Fair Tire beats all the competition, even online prices. We'll also do a free front wheel alignment with any tire purchase. Name brand tires, the lowest prices, free alignment. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Welcome back to Mainly Motorsports, and this next gentleman needs no introduction. But Buster Downing did a great job at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony to introduce the legendary Mike Rowe, and pretty unique that he's still getting it done behind the wheel. A lot of you just saw him compete on the full Pro All-Star Series tour this past year, and still going strong. Looks like to be coming back for 2015 for another run at it, and a little over a month he'll be heading down to Hartford, Connecticut area and being inducted into the New England Racing Hall of Fame, which is a pretty steep honor. It's an honor in itself to be inducted into the Maine Motorsports Hall of Fame, but you're going up against Maine racers. Now, we all know of the great history throughout New England, guys that have raced in New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Vermont, Connecticut, and to be honored, and what is really unique about it is to be honored as you're still racing. You know, that just shows how great your career has been when you can get inducted into a Hall of Fame when you're still getting it done behind the wheel. But we have the speech that Mike gave up at the Maine Motorsports Hall of Fame in Augusta this past spring, and very humble man, and always gives credit where credit is due. But we all know the man can drive a race car, so very deserving of the honors and every accolade that he's received. But here was his induction speech this past spring up at the Maine Motorsports Hall of Fame.
May I present you one of Maine's most accomplished and legendary drivers with a record that will probably never be duplicated, Maine's newest Hall of Fame inductee, Mike Rowe.
Andy, I think he used up my minutes, didn't he? Thank you, good night. I want to thank Buster, he did a great job. I want to say thank the Maine Vendors Association. Thank everybody here for coming out tonight. I'd like to start out with Butch Craig. Did a great job. You and Gerald, Mary, where's Sandra? My fan over there, she always tells me every time I go to the race, what is it? Can you imagine that? One of my crew members' wife. But anyway, as far as Leland, you said it was raining when I got here. I told him he could have dropped me off out front because of my hair. Couldn't do nothing. You know, my greatest highlight was when Ben, Tom, we raced at Oxford a lot, and the three of us qualified for the Oxford 250, all three of us. It was great. And then Butch and I moved on. Mike O'Connor, I want to thank him and Dick, giving us the opportunity to win some races. Then I moved on with Dave Kimball. I got a little story to tell about that one. Of course, Dave passed away. We won actually with Dave at the West Cassett Championship, but then I moved on with Mike Lutz and Jerry Hicks. And Wes Kimball called me up, knew we was headed for West Cassett that first race, and he says, Mike, he says, would you mind putting 12X on your car? I said, sure. He says, we'd like to do that for my brother. So we come in the morning, we were running 24, and he takes the sticker and puts 12X on it. That was fine. So then this boy comes up to me and says, you mind if my dad races with you? I said, what? He said, yeah, he had some ashes. I said, sure. Took those, pulled my water bottle out, set them in there. So then, of course, I was on a mission then. We took in, I think we had a time trial. I was like 15th. Sammy Sessions he was on the top of his game. He was on the pole. We started the race, and man, I was dogging in and out, and finally caught him. We had probably half the race to go, and I couldn't get by him. I mean, he was just that good. So we kept going, still couldn't get by him. We got down about 20 laps to go. I reached over the old water bottle, gave it a shake, as I needed some help. About 3-4 laps later, we're coming out of 4, coming up on Scott King. He was a rookie. I see Sammy Sessions headed to the outside. So as soon as I saw that, I had 2 wheels right on the grass. I went right on the inside. We ended up winning the race, and this boy came down. I said, "What do you want to do with these?" He said, "I'd like to put them around the track." I said, "Okay." We go around the track, and that's where Dave is. Then we get out, we got a trophy about yay high, and gave it to the family. And on the trophy, it says, the sponsor of the race, Dave's World. And I said, wow. So, of course, everybody knows Boss Hogg Sinclair owned the track. I went over to him after, I said, "How'd you come up with that?" He said, "Well," he said, "I didn't have a sponsor, so I just called it Dave's World." Well, tell me that ain't freaky. But yeah, that's my story with Dave. And then we moved on to Steve Perry and Scott Poulin. We had some great years with them. 2005 and 6, actually Buster said that. Andy, how much time I got left? Actually, if you'd inducted me 5 years ago, like you said I was known, I wouldn't have to talk this long, right? Yeah. But anyway, we got joined up with SP2s, Steve Perry and Scott Poulin, which I'm back this year with Lux and Steve Perry. We're going to race some pass races. So where's Joy, Cassius, Benji, Travis? You better be looking in your rear view mirror, because I'll be coming. Then PT Watts, we ran some races with him, had a lot of success. And then 2009, Dickie Fowler and I got together, won the championship in 2009, 10, and sad thing in 2012, Jason Fowler, which was a great part of our success in 2009 and 10, got killed in a car accident. So he called up, wanted to know if I'd run a couple races. I said, sure. And we went down and won the first race, and I thought that'd be it. Bruce comes over to me and said, "Oh, you're running all year, huh?" And I said, "No." I said, "Well, I'm going to run a couple races." He said, "No, you're not. You're going to run all year." I said, "What?" Of course, Dickie always says a couple races with him. What turns into all year. But, so we went down in 2009 and ended up winning the championship for Jason. Mikey, best crew chief in the world, does a great job. He's taking over the wheel this year, and I'll be there to help him what I can. I'll be up there on the radio telling you what to do and sneaking them holes. And then, of course, with Jordan Emerson back in 2009, everybody probably knows Jordan. She got hurt in that car accident, Beach Ridge. 2009, I gave her my championship trophy. And got to be real good friends with Jimmy and Brenda. So Dickie and I come up with the idea to take her to Charlotte with us. Nobody that's ever been down to Charlotte for the Beach Ridge banquet, it's just, tell you, Andy, Beach Ridge, do an awesome job, and that deal with NASCAR is something I wish everybody could share, because it's awesome. And what time must be up, Eric? No, I'd like to thank all the car owners. I know I run with Danny and Leland, had a lot of fun. And I tell you, we didn't even know Leland and I was going to come out in those cars, did you? We had a little tassel, I think, the week before that. So Leland and I were still talking. We got along great. It was all the fans that always had the problems. So we decided, they said, "Hey, you take my car, I'll take yours." So we get out there, get out for the national anthem, people looking around, throwing rocks at us, I think. I want to thank everybody for coming. Thank you. Thank all the inductees. Good night.
Today's vehicles are equipped with complex safety features such as anti-lock brakes, seatbelt restraints, and airbag systems. Even collision avoidance systems. Not available on all models. Hi, I'm Sean Moody from Moody's Collision Centers. We don't wish bad luck on anyone, but even with today's technology, we need to keep our eyes on the road and our hands on the wheel.
Moody's Collision Centers, now with 9 locations in Maine.
Legendary race car driver Bentley Warren is putting Arundel on the map. When Bentley's Saloon opened in 2004, it was just a little bar room on the side of the road. Today we have a giant saloon with live music, dancing, and great food and drink indoors and out. We're always looking to meet new friends and have a good old time. There's always something exciting going on at Bentley's. That's why we like to say, who has more fun than us? We do!
Mainly Motorsports TV, brought to you by
Scotch Recreation. Whether you're thinking about your first camper or looking to upgrade your current one, Scotch Recreation can help you. Get both our Route 202 Manchester and our Route 4 Turner locations and online at scotchrecreation.com.
LKQ Core. Any part, any repair, anywhere. Located on Route 202 in Gorham.
When you're in need of awards or personalized gifts, call Award Champs, where they'll help you reward your champion.
Well, they had a full card of events up there at Speedway 95, but the other 2 events that I taped other than the Ikey Dorr race was the Outlaw Super Series, Maine Super Series, a division that Derek Mingo started up with the help of Doug Sinclair, and Del Merritt was 100% behind it, and they capped off their season, and Chris Watson capped it off in dominating fashion. But the late model race, they had 150 laps, break at the halfway point, and great action. I mean, there wasn't a lot of cars on the late lap at the end of the race, but at the end of the race, you'll see where the 2 leaders, Nick Huff, Mike Jenkins, 2 attempts at a restart. The track said, nope, you can't get it right, go to the back. Well, they put them at the back of the lead lap cars, and Mike Hopkins put on a show coming from 6th to the lead, challenging for the lead in less than 8 laps, and you'll see at the end of the race what happened to them, and I'll make my comment after that. And really, I was just amazed at what I saw and then how it ended up. So enjoy these highlights from the Outlaw Super Series as well as the late model division.
I think it's time to go get the late model now, go another 150.
Yeah, right. You wish.
I would do it.
What happened tonight? You started on the pole? Have quite enough for him?
I don't think I got quite enough motor. We've been, this is low motor, and I think these guys are freshening up, and we'll come back next year with something better, hopefully.
Okay, 100 laps in the Strickland Street tonight, 50 laps in the Outlaw Plus practice. Seems to be ready for bed.
I'm ready for bed right now, yes.
Okay, well, congratulations on a good night. Chris, congratulations, second place run night. Didn't quite have enough for Watson tonight?
No, we were real loose off, and I tried to give Chris all I could there running on the outside, but I got loose 3 laps in a row there. And he got by me, and then it was just ride along and see what we could do. We could get another caution, get another try at him, but we did what we could for today.
Well, you did 100 laps in the Strickland Streets before and 50 laps now on this one. But you don't look as tired as Dwayne.
I may be younger, but it's still tiring. It's long laps around this place, but I gotta thank them guys I only got 2 guys with me helping me on both these cars. they've been working their tail off all day today, so I gotta thank them all.
Okay, well, congratulations on your second place finish here in the Outlaw Super Series of Maine. Well, she's steaming a little bit, but she came in first again. In first place here is Chris Watson. Chris, you did it again.
Yeah, I got to thank a lot of people. The wife for putting up with me, letting me do this. Timmy Reynolds for letting me drive the car. Banged her up a little bit. You know, everybody put it back together over there. Marty Carmichael Trucking for letting me run that engine. That engine is awesome. You know, I hate to see the car torn up, but I'm glad I got back up there.
Evidently didn't do too much damage. The car was still fast when you got back out of it. What did you have to do?
I don't know. I let them worry about that. I just drive it. Didn't feel as good after, but you know, what are you going to do?
Well, it was good enough. Congratulations on your win here again in the Maine Outlaw Super Series.
said, ride for the longest time, and then hopefully at the end you're there, and it actually worked out. But I tell you, the car's dropped a rocker or something that's barely running. Lucky, I guess.
Well, you had to stay on that lead line. We went in particular at one point, had to come back out and start on the rear. Is that some mechanical problem there?
Well, like you said, it just didn't steer, so we went and let some air out of the tires. And, well, you see, when we come back out, we were quite a ways behind. But
okay, well, great job. Mike Hoffman got for the second spot. I'm not sure here. You have the official ruling on that. Mike, what happened there at the end?
I was just going for the win. I mean, I was up on the wheel. And me and Brett and I had a little run on him, and I mashed the gas, got loose, and I mean, it wasn't I was trying to dump him. You can see the black marks. I had the brakes on, not trying to put him in the bank. But hey, I don't care. Me and Brett are buddies, and that's racing. I mean, I lost the race for a bad restart. And it's the way my year's going.
What happened before that on that restart where you and Nick Jenkins couldn't make it on 2 restarts?
Well, I don't know. I thought the leader set the pace. So I went, and he didn't go, so I waited, and then he didn't, and I went, he beat me, and I kept racing, and they threw the yellow. So, hey, it's racing. You know, I'm not going to sit here and whine and cry, and they can boo me, and hey, it's racing. I don't care.
Okay, well, congratulations. A nice run. You had that thing sewn up there for quite a while. Led about 140 some odd laps of it.
Yeah, hey, it's part of the deal. You can lead all the laps you want, but the last one doesn't count.
That's true. Okay, let's talk where is he? Red Brenton on the first place finish with Brenton Parrott. Brenton, congratulations. You hung out there through the whole thing and had a good challenge there at the end, but you beat him out. Who wins for the win?
Oh, we rode pretty patient the whole race. The bottom was better for me tonight, and what happened there is racing. It was for a win right there. I used him up a little bit on the back stretch, I think, and hey, that's what we had to do. We did what we had to do. There's no problems here. It just happened. It was for a win. What do you expect?
Kind of puts an exclamation point on your championship, though. Nice run.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was a good run. I'll take it.
Okay, well, congratulations.
You saw the finish of the late model race, and anybody that traveled up to Speedway 95 back in August and saw the finish of the Pro All-Star Series race, very similar finish. Difference of what took place in August at the pass race versus what took place here in the late model race. Obviously, one car wasn't destroyed like it happened in the pass race, and I don't think the intent was on either part to have the end result of what ended up at the pass race. But you know, the pretty cool thing was obviously the fans were all animated and letting Hot Rod Hopkins know their displeasure and what they thought he did. But you know, he got right out of his car and he ran over to the sandbank to see Brenton Parrott and let him know that you know, what he did wasn't intentional, as they are friends on competitors. And you know, when you saw him walking back to Victory Lane together, you know, talking about the situation and talking about it in Victory Lane, and you heard from their interviews that no intent on each one, you know, no harm done, and just good hard racing, coming to the end, racing for the win. And really thought both of them handled it in such a professional manner, you know. And sometimes we lose sight of that as racers or car owners or crew members or wives or girlfriends or mothers, fathers, you know. And just to watch the way Mr. Parrott and Mr. Hopkins handled the situation and what they had to say, not only to each other, but on the microphone, to the other competitors down there, just shows the type of people they are, and, you know, deservingly finished 1-2 in that race. So it was a great job. Great job by everybody at Speedway 95, working through cramming a 2-day event into 1 day, and I know it made for a long day, and I feel it as it's, you know, 12:30 Monday morning as I'm putting this all together and taping it, and off to Dave Stewart, and which appreciate all Dave does with each and every week getting this to you. And obviously weeks like this make things a little more difficult for both of us, but we get through it, and you know, we bring it back to your viewers. So enjoy this week's show. This upcoming weekend, you know, racing's coming to an end, so it's your chance. You need to get off the couch, you need to get out of the yard, you need to go. I mean, you got the Milk Bowl over there in Vermont, you know, one of the most prestigious races in New England. You know, to win that Milk Bowl, unique format, 3 50-lap segments, keep totally your score. Lowest score wins the Milk Bowl, kisses the cow. Long John, you know, hats off to Nick Huff and Ralph Nason keeping the tradition alive up there. And, you know, it's like at least the 15th annual, or, you know, I don't know the exact number, but the Long John is going to go on. Big late model race up there. And then obviously down at Lee, Oktoberfest, you heard from Joe Bassett last week talking about all they got planned, you know, 18 divisions, 2 full days of racing. So there's 3 opportunities right there to get out to see 3 very similar but very different types of racing, and your chance to support the great sport of short track racing. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll show you the results from the few things that happened this past weekend, and we'll catch you next time on Mainly Motorsports.
Get the right car at the right price. OTMotorsales.com.
Not sure what brand tire to buy? Town Fair Tire has them all. Michelin, Goodyear, Firestone, Bridgestone, Pirelli, Toyo, Yokohama, Hankook, and more. No matter what size or brand, Town Fair Tire beats all the competition, even online prices. We'll also do a free front wheel alignment with any tire purchase. Name brand tires, the lowest prices, free alignment. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire. I'm a brain making everyone complain. Radio in the heart. Don't be being so strange. Think I'm losing it. Baby, where have you been? Everybody said.